Hello everyone, welcome back to sprouting season. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to be making a broccoli and potato cheese soup, and I've already laid out the ingredients. And before we begin, I just wanted to remind everyone to like and subscribe if you like the content of this channel. You're going to need 4 tablespoons melted butter, half cup finely diced yellow onion or white onion is fine, 1 packed tablespoon of finely chopped garlic, or about 4 medium cloves garlic, okay? 4 cups chicken stock, or you can use the Better Than Bouillon or chicken bouillon powder, and that's about 1 teaspoon of the bouillon per cup of water, I believe. Just check the back and it'll tell you of the bottle, okay? And also keep in mind that you can also use that instead of salt, okay? Because this recipe does ask for salt, seasoned salt, and I have the kosher salt there, okay? But I don't know if I'm going to use it. It just depends. We're going to have to taste it first, or I'm going to have to taste it first for you. And then we have, let's see, 2 medium carrots. I've already peeled them and sliced them thinly, and then of course the salt or the chicken bouillon, half teaspoon paprika, half teaspoon black pepper, 4 cups Yukon gold potatoes, 6 cups broccoli florets, and this is the bunch, okay? All I did was separate the florets and cut them up, some of the stems, and I washed them. If you or I'm sure you can use like frozen broccoli florets. And then also a half a teaspoon of celery seed. I have whole milk, 3 cups whole milk you're gonna need, 6 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 7-ounce can of crema, which is table cream, and I didn't have the can, and I tried looking for it at the store and they didn't have it, so that's what I found right there. And I just measured out 7 ounces, okay, because that's too much right there. And then also we need 3 cups of American block cheese, freshly grated, and I didn't have the block American cheese, so all I did was cut it up. These are the slices, like for sandwiches, okay? And then I'm going to add, which it's not on the recipe, but I'm going to add white sharp cheddar cheese, and I've already grated it. So that should be about 3 cups right there. That's 2 cups and that's 1 cup. And then we need also, it says again, salt to taste, okay? But once the soup is done, taste it, because you don't want to do it at the beginning. You want to wait till the end to make sure that that's what you like, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. And I've already got my pot here. It's a Dutch oven pot. You can use any pot, and we're gonna go ahead and add our garlic and butter. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and melt the butter with the minced garlic. Okay. And just stir until it's completely melted. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add our onion. keep stirring. And just stir until, you know, the onion cooks a little bit. Maybe like about a minute or so. And then once that's done, let's see what else we need. Okay, so the recipe actually said to add the onions first and then the garlic, but it, you know, it both is going to get cooked together. It's fine. Now we're going to add our chicken stock, and that's going to be 4 cups. So I added the carrots, and now it's come to a boil, and we're going to simmer, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. Alright, this is the paprika, the pepper, the celery seed, and it also asks for the seasoned salt. Again, I don't think I'm going to add that yet because I am going to be adding that chicken bouillon, okay, instead of salt to see how that tastes. This is the first time I'm trying this recipe out, so it's this one. Alright, so let's go ahead and cook that on simmer for a little bit. Alright, I have to turn it down a little bit more. Now we're going to add our potatoes, okay? And it asks for 6 cups, but I just put in 6 small potatoes because they're pretty small. Okay, or to your liking. And just stir. And we're going to go ahead and let that cook for about maybe 5 minutes, okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add about 4 tablespoons of the better than bouillon chicken, okay? I'm not using the measuring spoon, and this is just going to be like just eyeballing it, okay? And I'll just add that much first. We'll have to taste it later. Just stir that in there. So that's what I'm using instead of the salt because, you know, this has salt in it. You don't want it too salty. We're going to go ahead and add, this is 3 cups of cold whole milk, okay? And we're going to add cornstarch to this, and it's going to be 6 tablespoons, okay? And it needs to be cold so it'll mix in there well. 2, 3, doesn't have to be exact, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and whisk that. And then we're going to add, once it's well incorporated, then you're going to add your crema in there. The lumps seem to be out. And then put that in there. And this is what we're going to add to our soup mixture. Add the broccoli into the pot now. The potatoes have been cooking for a few minutes, and the carrots, and I think it's a good idea to, I should have mentioned it earlier, the carrots should really go in first because they take a little bit longer to cook, but they're thinly cut, so you shouldn't have any issues there. And just, leave that cooking for a little while. maybe about until it softens, the broccoli softens, not mushy, and then we'll add our cream mixture, okay? Cover once you get to a simmer, okay? And then we'll wait for the broccoli to be done. Okay, so I failed to tell everyone that we have to cook our crema mixture, the milk mixture, okay? So this is the crema, the whole milk, and the cornstarch, okay? And we're just going to wait for this to heat up, and we're just gonna keep whisking it till it thickens and starts lightly bubbling. So you wanna keep stirring this. Once it starts getting hot, you need to keep stirring, okay? Because if you don't, then it'll burn. You don't want that. Okay, so it's gonna start to thicken up, and then once it's thickened up and slightly bubbly, then we'll add our cheese. So this is thickened up and it's already kind of bubbly, so we're gonna go ahead and add our cheese, okay? And try to do 1 cup at a time. This is the American cheese. Just keep stirring, okay? This is the white cheddar. And you can use, you know, a different kind of cheddar if you'd like. You don't have to use cheddar at all because the recipe only asks for American, but that's what I had on hand, so it's nice and thick. You know, you can turn it down a little bit if it's getting too hot. And over here, we got our broccoli and carrots and potatoes already done, okay? They're nice and tender, so we're gonna add the milk mixture into that. And if you want to add some more cheese, you can add more cheese. The recipe calls for 3 cups, but you can add more. And I turned off the heat to this mixture because it looks pretty much done. Cheese is melted. Everything's well incorporated in there. And we're going to add that to our soup mixture now. This on low. If your soup is a little too runny and you want it a little bit thicker, then just add a little more cornstarch, okay? Or maybe even a little bit of flour. Or you can also add more cheese, okay? And if it's too thick, just add more milk or broth, and that's it. And you can top it off with some cheddar cheese on top. You can add like pieces of turkey bacon on top. You know, whatever you'd like. You can serve it with some hot bread or crackers. But I'm gonna let that cook just for a few minutes and see if I like the consistency. Our broccoli potato cheese soup looks done and it looks delicious. I did add a little bit more cornstarch. All you got to do is add a little cornstarch in a tad of water and mix that and then pour it in. And I added a little bit more cheese, and that's it. I tasted it. Again, if you want to add more salt, if you're using like kosher salt or seasoned salt, or just add this, okay? And that's all you need really, because this has flavor and salt. You don't need to add more salt. And that's it.